All right, let's jump right in.
Into what exactly?
Building your ideal fitness routine.
Okay, I'm with you.
We're talking a plan that actually fits your life.
Yeah, that's key, isn't it?
So we're looking at 30-minute sessions on Mondays.
All right.
And then a full hour Wednesdays and Fridays.
Got it.
But it's not just about hitting the gym.
Right. Definitely not.
We want to make fitness a habit, something you enjoy.
Absolutely.
Something that actually lasts.
It's about that long-term sustainable change.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we've got some incredible guides.
Oh. Like who are we talking about?
Master Roshi, of course.
Always a good source of inspiration.
Plus those insightful Clipchamp videos.
Love those.
And we can't forget the wisdom of Mario Neri-sensei.
Oh yeah, he's got some great perspectives.
So the big question is,
Hit me with it.
can we balance those fitness goals
Right.
with making exercise a sustainable part of your life?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is, and I think our sources offer some compelling answers.
Well, let's hear them. What's standing out to you?
Honestly, the theme of consistency pops up everywhere.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure.
It's like Master Roshi's training, remember?
Oh, yeah, those endless days of delivering milk, carrying construction materials.
Exactly. It wasn't about those crazy, intense bursts of effort.
Nope, it was about discipline, building those habits.
Making those actions automatic.
Like second nature.
And that reminds me of what Clipchamp talks about.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Automaticity.
Right. Rewiring our brains to make fitness a habit.
Not a chore, not a struggle, but something we just do.
Without even thinking about it.
I love that idea. And it connects to what we were talking about earlier.
Does.
The skinny fat thing.
Ah, yes. That's super common, by the way.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. Way more than people realize.
I guess it makes sense. You might not look out of shape.
Exactly. But you might be lacking muscle mass.
And that can have health implications too, right?
Absolutely. But here's the good news.
I'm all ears.
As a novice, you're in prime position for noob gains.
Noob gains? What's that?
It's that rapid muscle growth you see when you first start training.
Oh, so your body's like, whoa, new challenge, let's get to work.
That's it. Your body is super responsive to new stimuli.
Like leveling up in a video game.
Exactly. You're in that sweet spot for making serious progress.
So that skinny fat situation can be turned around pretty quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with the right approach.
Okay, now I'm even more intrigued. So what's the best way to go about this?
Well, we've got a couple of options depending on your goals.
Lay 'em on me.
We could go the recomp route.
Hold on, recomp.
Yeah, it stands for body recomposition.
Okay, so what does that mean exactly?
It's like the holy grail for many.
Really?
Losing fat and gaining muscle at the same time.
Wow, that's what everyone wants, right?
Pretty much. And as a novice, you have a higher chance of pulling it off.
Okay, so how do we do it?
Well, it all comes down to your calorie intake.
Right. Food is fuel, after all.
Exactly. If you're carrying a bit more body fat, a slight calorie deficit might be ideal.
So you're eating a little less than you burn.
Precisely. That'll help you shed fat while preserving muscle.
Makes sense. But what if you're already pretty lean?
Then a controlled calorie surplus might be the way to go.
So eating a bit more than you burn to fuel muscle growth.
You got it. But it's all about finding that sweet spot.
Not going overboard in either direction.
Exactly. And remember, building a physique you love takes time.
Right. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So patience and consistency are key.
I'm hearing that word again, consistency.
It's the foundation of everything.
Okay, so we've got this foundation of consistency, and we need to figure out the right calorie approach based on our individual situation.
So far, so good.
But let's get to the actual workouts.
Now we're talking.
Should you go all in on calisthenics, hit the gym, or maybe a mix of both?
Good question. That's where your schedule and preferences come in.
Right, because everyone's different.
Exactly. Now, calisthenics are fantastic.
You mean like bodyweight exercises?
Yeah. Think push-ups, squats, lunges, Master Roshi's turtle shell training.
Ah, I love that visual.
They build functional strength, body control, and you can do them anywhere.
No gym membership required.
Exactly. But there's a catch.
Uh-oh. What's the downside?
Progressive overload can be tricky with calisthenics alone.
Right. You need to keep challenging those muscles to make them grow.
And that's where the gym shines.
Ah, I see where you're going with this.
Easy to adjust weights, tons of equipment perfect for progressive overload.
Plus, you can target specific muscle groups more effectively.
You got it.
Yeah.
But of course, there's the cost, the travel time.
And for some people, that gym intimidation factor.
Yeah, I get that. Walking into a room full of experienced lifters can be daunting.
It can be. But you mentioned a hybrid approach earlier.
I did.
Yeah.
And I think it might be the perfect solution for you.
Okay, tell me more.
How about we make those 30-minute Monday sessions your dedicated calisthenics time?
So I'm picturing those dynamic movements, maybe even some Roshi-inspired moves.
Huh. Maybe not with a turtle shell on your back, but you get the idea.
But what about those longer Wednesday and Friday sessions?
That's when you hit the gym and focus on those heavier lifts.
Oh, so we're talking compound movements like squats, bench press, deadlifts.
Those are your bread and butter for building strength and muscle.
A little bit of Roshi's wisdom combined with the power of the gym.
Sounds like a winning combo to me.
I'm liking it. But how do we make the most of that gym time?
Now you're asking the right questions. We've got this awesome technique called antagonistic training.
Antagonistic training. That sounds intense.
It's actually super efficient, perfect for those hour-long gym sessions.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me more.
It's all about pairing exercises that work opposing muscle groups.
Opposing muscle groups, like what?
Think biceps and triceps, chest and back.
Ah, I see.
You work one group, then immediately hit the other with minimal rest.
So, while one muscle group is recovering, the other is working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're saving time without sacrificing intensity.
That's pretty clever. But isn't rest crucial for muscle growth?
Absolutely. But the 20-second rest in antagonistic training is a guideline, not a rule.
Okay, that makes sense.
You adjust it based on your needs and the intensity of the exercises.
So if I'm feeling extra wiped after a set, I can take a bit longer break.
Exactly. And remember, we're still incorporating rest days into your routine.
Right, those muscles need time to recover and rebuild.
Exactly. But back to those hour-long gym sessions.
Yeah, we were talking about making the most of that time.
Antagonistic training is perfect for that. You can hit those major muscle groups.
And squeeze in more exercises without feeling rushed.
Precisely. But let's not forget about the mental game.
Oh yeah, Master Roshi wasn't just about physical training.
Right. He emphasized mental discipline, focus.
I like those meditation sessions he'd make Goku and Krillin do.
Exactly. And luckily, both Kursakak and Mario Neri Sensei offer some great tools for cultivating that mental strength.
I'm curious to hear what they have to say.
Have you ever tried gratitude journaling?
Gratitude journaling. Sounds a little bit, I don't know.
Yeffy.
Yeah, a little fluffy for a fitness routine.
I hear you, but Kuskasat highlighted its incredible impact.
Oh. Tell me more.
The simple act of writing down a few things you're grateful for.
Like what kinds of things?
Anything. Your health, your family, a sunny day, anything that makes you feel good.
And doing this regularly can actually boost happiness and well-being.
The research is pretty compelling. It can even change brain activity for the better.
Wow, really? So it's like a mental workout for positivity and resilience.
Exactly. And think about how that translates to your fitness journey.
I'm starting to see the connection.
When you're feeling grateful, you're more likely to appreciate your body, your progress, even those tough workouts.
It's like shifting your perspective from, I have to do this, to, I get to do this.
That's a powerful shift, and it can make all the difference in your consistency.
Okay, I'm sold. So how do I fit this gratitude journaling into my routine?
I'd suggest starting with a few times a week, maybe on your rest days or before workouts.
So like priming my mind for success.
Precisely. And speaking of mental tools, Marinari Sensei is all about visualization.
Visualization.
Yeah.
Like picturing myself crushing those workouts and achieving my goals.
Exactly. Sensei calls it cultivating the ki.
Cultivating the ki. That sounds pretty mystical.
It's all about harnessing your mental energy to achieve physical goals.
So I'm basically tapping into the power of my mind to influence my body.
You got it. It's about creating a clear vision of what you want to achieve and then mentally rehearsing those actions, those successes.
That's pretty cool. But what about those pesky inner critic voices? You know, the ones that say you can't do this or you're not strong enough.
Those voices are normal, but don't give them power. Challenge them with evidence of your own strength.
Evidence? Like what?
Think about your progress so far, even those noob games we talked about.
Right. That's proof that my body is capable of amazing things.
Exactly. Celebrate every win, no matter how small, and let those successes fuel your belief in yourself.
So I'm turning those inner critics into inner cheerleaders. I love that. But let's shift gears for a moment.
Where are we headed?
Let's talk about some common mistakes people make when training, especially at home or starting out at the gym.
Yes. There are definitely some pitfalls to avoid.
What are some of the big ones?
One common mistake, particularly with bodyweight exercises, is not pushing hard enough.
Not pushing hard enough.
Yeah.
How do you know if you're doing that?
Ask yourself, am I really challenging my muscles?
So it's not just about going through the motions.
Exactly. You need to feel that burn, that fatigue.
Right, you got to feel the burn. But what about those days when motivation is low? We all have those moments when the couch seems way more appealing than a workout.
That's where connecting with your why becomes crucial.
My why.
Why are you doing this? What are your deeper motivations?
That's like remembering the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Visualize the positive impacts. Increased energy, improved mood, that sense of accomplishment.
So I'm not just building a body, I'm building resilience, discipline.
You're building a stronger version of yourself, both mentally and physically.
I love that. But what about those moments of self-doubt? Those thoughts whispering, I can't do this.
Those thoughts are normal, but don't let them take control.
Easier said than done sometimes.
I know, but challenge those thoughts with evidence.
Evidence of my own strength.
Exactly. Think about how far you've come already. You're taking action. You're committed to this journey.
That's true. I guess I sometimes forget to acknowledge my own progress.
It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind.
Right. But those small wins matter.
They absolutely do. They're stepping stones to bigger achievements.
So it's all about celebrating those milestones along the way.
Exactly. Make it enjoyable, find what fueled your fire, and remember why you started.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. But what if those negative thoughts get too loud? Or I hit a point where I just feel stuck?
Don't hesitate to reach out for support.
Support? Like, what kind of support?
Talk to a friend, a trainer, or even a therapist. Having a supportive network can make all the difference.
That's a good point.
Hey,
We're not meant to do this alone.
exactly. Share your struggles, celebrate your wins, and lean on those who believe in you.
Okay, that's great advice. But let's talk practicalities for a moment.
What's on your mind?
How do you handle cravings for those less than healthy foods? We all have those moments of weakness, right?
Oh, absolutely. Cravings are a natural part of life, and deprivation only leads to binging.
So what's the alternative?
Instead of restricting, try incorporating those treats mindfully.
Mindfully? Like, what do you mean?
Plan for them, savor them, and enjoy them without guilt.
So it's all about moderation, not deprivation.
Finding that balance, making healthy choices enjoyable.
I like that. But it's easier said than done sometimes. Those cravings can be intense.
I know, but remember, you're in control.
Control. But what if my willpower just crumbles?
Willpower isn't always reliable. That's why having a plan is so important.
So like having healthy snacks on hand and planning my meals ahead of time.
Exactly. Set yourself up for success. And if you do slip up, don't beat yourself up about it.
Right. Progress over perfection.
Exactly. Acknowledge it, learn from it, and move on.
Okay, that makes sense. But speaking of food, let's talk about the fuel that powers those workouts. Nutrition.
Now we're getting to the good stuff.
What are some key principles for optimizing my diet to support my fitness goals?
Remember those building blocks we talked about?
Yeah, for muscle growth and overall health.
Nutrition is where it all comes together. We're talking sufficient protein to fuel muscle growth.
How much protein are we talking about?
Aim for around 0.8 grams per pound of body weight.
Okay, so protein is crucial. But what about those calories?
Well, that depends on whether you're aiming for a surplus for muscle gain or a deficit for fat loss.
Right, we talked about that earlier. So it's not just about hitting those macros, it's about understanding the why behind them.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Protein provides the building blocks for those noob gains, those new muscle fibers your body will be creating.
Okay, so I'm giving those muscles what they need to grow.
And those calories, they're the energy that fuels your workouts and helps your body recover and rebuild.
So it's all connected. But let's be real, life gets busy.
It does?
How can I ensure I'm getting enough protein throughout the day without having to constantly measure and track everything?
That's where planning and preparation come in handy.
Planning and preparation is my least favorite words.
I know, but trust me, it makes a world of difference.
Okay, I'm willing to give it a try. What's the best approach?
Think about incorporating protein-rich foods into every meal.
Every meal? That sounds like a lot of protein.
It's easier than you think. Start with eggs for breakfast.
Okay, eggs. I can do that.
Then maybe chicken or fish for lunch.
All right, I'm seeing the pattern here.
And for dinner, you could opt for lean protein sources like beans, lentils, or tofu.
So it's about making protein choices a habit.
Exactly. Make it a part of your routine, not a chore.
But what about those days when you just can't face cooking a full meal? You know, those crazy busy days when you're running around like a headless chicken.
I've got you covered. Protein shakes can be a lifesaver on those days.
Protein shakes? Aren't those just for bodybuilders?
Not at all. They're a convenient way to get a quick protein boost.
Okay, so what kind of protein powder should I be looking for?
Choose a high-quality protein powder without added sugars or artificial ingredients.
Got it. Anything else I should keep in mind?
And don't underestimate the power of simple snacks like hard-boiled eggs, nuts, or a handful of trail mix.
Ah, those are good ideas. Portable, convenient,
And they pack a protein punch.
perfect for those on-the-go days. But what about specific meal timing? Is there an optimal time to eat before or after a workout?
It's a great question, and you know what? It's a topic that gets debated a lot in the fitness world.
Yeah, I've heard so many different opinions on this.
There's no one-size-fits-all answer, really.
Okay, so what are the general guidelines?
A small, protein-rich snack about 30 to 60 minutes before your workout can help.
Okay, so it gives you energy and helps prevent muscle breakdown.
Exactly. And then after your workout,
Uh-huh.
aim for a meal or a snack with both protein and carbs within 1 to 2 hours.
Got it. To replenish energy stores and kickstart muscle recovery.
You got it. You're really getting this.
Well, I'm trying, but let's be real.
About.
We all have those days where we indulge a little too much.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there.
Those times when you eat a bit more than you planned.
Happens to the best of us.
How do you handle those situations, without getting discouraged?
Well, first of all, remember, it's progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
One slip up won't undo all your hard work.
That's good to hear because I've definitely had those moments where I'm like, I blew it.
We all have. The key is to acknowledge it, learn from it, and move on.
Don't dwell on the past. Focus on making healthier choices now.
Exactly. And most importantly,
Yeah.
be kind to yourself.
That's so important.
We all have moments of weakness. It's how we respond that matters.
I love that. So, thinking back to Master Roshi and his training methods, what about pushing past those limits?
That's a core part of his philosophy, isn't it?
Yeah, like always striving to be your best.
But it wasn't about reckless abandon,
No, he was very mindful.
He guided his students, challenged them, but always respected their limits.
Remember that scene where Goku and Krillin are delivering milk with those heavy turtle shells on their backs?
Classic Roshi.
It's a perfect metaphor, right?
Yeah.
For pushing yourself, but doing it gradually and safely.
Exactly. So embrace those challenges, push a little further each week, but listen to your body.
Don't sacrifice proper form or risk injury just to lift heavier.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance between pushing limits and respecting your body's signals.
And that seems to echo what we learned from Kurzgesagt too, right?
Absolutely. It's about finding that sweet spot.
Where you're challenging yourself but not overdoing it.
Exactly. And that sweet spot changes,
Oh yeah, for sure. Some days I have tons of energy, others I'm just dragging.
Exactly. Tune into your body's wisdom and adjust accordingly.
Some days you might be ready to crush it in the gym. Other days a gentle yoga flow might be better.
Exactly. It's about being flexible and listening to those internal cues.
But what about those times when you just can't muster the energy? Like mentally you're just drained.
That's where Mario Neri Sensei's idea of cultivating the ki comes in.
Right. Harnessing mental energy.
Remember that visualization technique?
Yeah. Picturing yourself succeeding.
It can be incredibly powerful. Imagine completing that workout, feeling strong, energized.
So even if I'm feeling blah, I can use my mind to help me power through.
Exactly. Create a mental blueprint for success.
And the more I practice this, the easier it gets.
Exactly. It's like training your mind to support your physical efforts.
I love that. Okay, before we wrap up this deep dive, can we circle back to sleep for a moment?
Absolutely. It's so crucial and often overlooked.
There's that saying you can't out-train a bad diet or lack of sleep.
It's so true. Sleep is when your body recovers, repairs muscle tissue, releases growth hormone.
It regulates all those hormones that impact everything.
Exactly. It's like hitting the reset button each night.
And if you're skimping on sleep, you're not going to see the results you want, even if you're training hard and eating right.
Exactly. It's like building a house without a solid foundation.
Okay, that's a powerful image. So, what are your top tips for prioritizing sleep?
Consistency is key. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every night.
Okay, that's a good starting point.
Create a relaxing bedtime routine.
Yeah, like a little ritual to wind down.
Exactly. Make sure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool.
No screens before bed, right?
Right. And avoid caffeine or alcohol close to bedtime.
So it's about creating a sanctuary for sleep, a haven for rest and rejuvenation.
Exactly. And if you're consistently struggling, don't hesitate to see a doctor.
Good advice. Well, we've covered a lot today.
We have
We've explored consistency, progressive overload recovery.
the mental game, visualization, celebrating those wins.
We even touched on nutrition and the importance of sleep.
It's all connected, isn't it?
It is. But as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a final question.
What's that?
What's one small step they can take today to move closer to their fitness goals?
That's a great question. I'd say reflect on your why. Why is fitness important to you?
What are those deeper motivations?
Exactly. Tap into that why. Set an intention, create a plan, and take that first step.
Towards a healthier, happier life.
You got it.
That's a great call to action. Remember, every journey begins with a single step.
So true.
Take that step today and embrace those possibilities.
You won't regret it.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep moving.